Mr. Veshnev, what a thrill to have a chance to see you again. I really enjoyed our conversation last May at Waves, and it's great to have a chance to continue the conversation today on such an important topic and to launch, the creative economy track of the AI Impact Summit, which is incredibly important about your vision for India's role and making it clear that India's talent, innovation, spirit, and expanding AI adoption places it among the leading nations in the world in the first tier of what's happening in artificial intelligence. And the ministries that you run are situated in a way that lets you take the reins of this effort and work with partners from the United States and elsewhere in finding the right solutions. Copyright has been the engine of both India's vibrant media sector, Bollywood and Hollywood, and it protects works that embody our culture, our values, our history, and it's one of the many things, as I mentioned earlier, that bind us together. So with all of that, Minister Veshnev, let me give the floor to you and start off with a big question, since we're at the beginning of this historic week. Tell us about your vision for what's going to happen over the next week, and tell us your vision for the AI, for the creative track that we have right now for the next couple of days. We'd love to hear that.
Thank you, Mr. Rivkin, and welcome to the AI Summit. Welcome to India. We met last during the Waves Summit in Mumbai, and that was a very exciting conversation. Thank you so much for all the support that you are giving for our creators' economy. It's an economy which is rapidly growing, and it's an economy which is also rapidly adapting to the new technologies, the new ways of working which are rapidly emerging in the world today. We as a country are very openly adapting new technologies. We have a very large digitally skilled population. We have one digital highway. Basically our 5G covers practically 90% of the entire country. So people are in a sense digitally native. So that's why adapting to new technologies is like fish taking to water. And we from the government are making all the efforts to facilitate reskilling, upskilling, and new skilling. So in all the three ways, our existing workforce should be reskilled, our people should get upskilled, and a new talent pipeline should get created. That's the thought process with which we are working. In the AI Summit, creative track is one of the tracks. There are multiple tracks. There is industrial track, there is citizen-centric track, there are things about AI safety, there is cyber track, cyber security track. There are multiple things on which we are working. And in these next few days of the AI Summit, when the world's entire AI leadership is collected here in India, and they discuss all the pertinent questions which are there, look at the opportunities, look at the challenges, we intend to come out with the basic theme is impact. The first summit was based on safety, second one was after Seoul, then Paris, and now we are basically measuring and looking at what the impact on human society is going to be. There are many items which are very positive impact. For example, in agriculture, in weather forecasting, in climate change, in discovery of new materials, in productivity of our people. Everywhere there are so many positive things. Simultaneously, there is a negative impact also. How do we balance the two so that we can get the benefits while we can contain the harms? That's what we intend to cover in the next few days, Mr. Rivkin. And hopefully, given the kind of leadership which is attending this summit, we will come out with a good outcome this summit.
How do you see the interaction of AI tools and the creative economy? And, in particular, Mr. Minister, we were speaking a minute ago about talent and about jobs. I think it'd be fascinating for you to talk a little bit about that.
Yep. We as a country believe in IP rights. We as a country believe in the creators, the value that the creators have brought in, either through their content or through their different ways of expressing themselves, different ways of telling the story. In fact, that is one of the reasons our country hosts a large number of global capability centers, which are basically serving a very large number of global corporations. That's primarily because we respect IP as a country. Given that, the challenges between AI and copyright are very, very complex, and we are in this summit looking at some sort of consensus on this, because if the creators get a chance to deploy their skills, protect their copyrights, protect the fruits of their creative energy, then the growth between today and tomorrow will be very high. Then AI can be used as a tool. AI doesn't become a competitor to human creativity. And we believe that human creativity is the most important thing that we have in our entire civilization. So we must protect it. We must make sure that any system which protects human creativity and enhances it is a better system. There shouldn't be a dilutive effect. There should be more of a complementing effect on the human creativity. On the job creation and on the entire talent pipeline, as you know, during Waves, we announced the creation of Indian Institute of Creative Technologies, IICT. Immediately after the Waves Summit, we inaugurated the first campus within a couple of months itself, we inaugurated the first campus. And the feedback that I'm getting from many of the industry participants is, it has today some of the most advanced laboratories in the entire world. 3 labs which are there in the IICT campus, probably many of the developed countries would be looking at that as a benchmark, is what the industry says. This is good progress, but this is just a beginning. The main campus construction has started already, and simultaneously in this budget, we have also announced content creators labs in 15,000 schools and colleges. So that's going to be spread out throughout the country. We have a hugely creative diversity in our country. People in so many different languages, when they tell their stories, the rich culture emerges out of that in its own vibrant way. So throughout the country, we'll be opening these content creators labs. We, of course, have partnerships with the entire industry. And like what we did in semiconductors, where we have world's best tools are now available to the students in 315 universities. And like what we did in telecom, where 100 universities have world's best 5G labs. So similar stuff we are going to do here, where the students will get access to world's best tools, so that this entire pipeline keeps getting updated, keeps getting broader, the talent pipeline, and the people who are already working in the industry, they get an opportunity to upskill themselves.
How are your ministries thinking about guiding this responsible use, which is so important? How to support creativity, but at the same time, protect innovation and entrepreneurship? What do you think?
Absolutely right. It's a very, very complex matter, because the way the foundational models are trained, they are trained using the knowledge which is there in the public sphere and the knowledge which is there in the books and periodicals and journals and films and videos and every source of content. Now, is that model the right way of rewarding the creators? Are there more improvements to be done? Are there the right guardrails to be created so that the balance between IP and innovation, that right balance comes? Would a simple regulation do that? Probably no. That will require a lot of consensus building. That will also require a lot of technological tools to be created. Our understanding so far is that for such complex problems, we have to have techno-legal solutions. Solutions which look at laws, while they simultaneously, they also look at technical guardrails and technical balancing features in the AI models as well as in the way AI is deployed. So that's, we look at it, and we are very closely engaged with the industry to find out the right technical and legal structures for this. And this is something which will have to be taken up at a global level. This will require a consensus building across different countries.
I couldn't agree more. And your point about rights, when rights are unclear, then risk tolerance is low. It just makes sense. So hopefully we'll continue in that direction, even with this technology advancing as rapidly as it is. So to change the topic, in a world that we're all facing right now of honestly persistent misinformation, disinformation, deepfakes, how can government work with industry to solve this dangerous problem that not only impacts creativity, which is obviously what we're here to talk about, but it impacts public safety, it impacts national security. How do you think we can provide guardrails here?
This is extremely important point. Misinformation, disinformation, deepfakes, they are attacking the foundation of our society. Foundation of our society is the trust between institutions. The trust between the institutions which society has created over centuries. These are the institutions of family, institutions of different social identities, institutions of governance. These are the institutions which hold the society together. And the rapid spread of deepfakes, misinformation, disinformation is basically striking at the root of these institutions, the root of trust between these institutions. And I think the social media platforms, the AI models, the creators, all of us will have to take the responsibility for making sure that the new technology is strengthening the trust rather than belittling it, rather than reducing it, rather than creating that breakup between different institutions without creating the alternative. And there again, there will have to be a technical and legal solution which has to be there. I have interacted with the ministers from more than 20 countries on this, and including some of the most liberal countries. And practically every one of them believes that time has come when the society has to look at it with a fresh, in a totally new way. The construct of freedom of speech has to be with responsibility on the person who's speaking.
So of the many people impacted by that, you mentioned the institution of family. And I wanted to raise a subpoint, an important one, which is children. The consideration to ensure that children and other groups are protected from AI-generated content. I mean, children around the world a young girl could be, without her permission, placed in an adult movie. Individuals could all of a sudden find themselves starring in movies without getting paid for it and doing things they wouldn't necessarily do in normal life. But about children, how do we protect kids and families? What do you think?
This should be non-negotiable for the entire country. Yeah. This should be non-negotiable for the entire human society. And we believe that this will require very strict legal as well as technical measures.
Our movie rating system in the United States has R and PG and G, and it's been around for 62 years because 92% of the parents trust that we're going to at least tell them what their kid might see if they go to this theater, so they're not completely surprised by it. And so the point I wanted to make is simply, there's a big difference between user-generated content, something that's uploaded and unregulated and uncontrolled, and curated content where we've already put a tremendous amount of thought into what's being seen. And I think that distinction needs to be remembered, certainly in our opinion.
A quick point here. When you mention the OTT world, my request is, in the digital world, there are no physical boundaries. In that scenario, it's very easy for the OTT platforms to kind of forget the cultural context. Cultural context is very important. What is normal in one society may not be normal in another society.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think global platforms like yours, like Netflix, must make sure that the cultural context of the countries in which they are operating, I mean, they should be aware of that cultural context, should modulate according to that cultural context, and work by the constitution and the legal framework of that country rather than the framework of the parent country.
I think the reason that the creator of our ratings system, Jack Valenti, 65 years ago, only made it for the United States is it's hard enough in America to find consistent understanding. All of our states have different views as well. But I hear you loud and clear, and obviously our studios, the international market is the heart and soul of our business in many ways. And I think all of us are trying as hard as we can to be sensitive to those issues. But thank you for raising it. It was presented before, and you saw in the little film that came on before we started speaking, that at Waves last year when we saw each other, I talked about the 16.7 billion gross output supported by 2.6 million jobs here in India across, only last year alone. The 7% growth seems to still be in place. It could be 20 billion in a few years with another 300,000 or 400,000 jobs added. So how does AI adoption here in India, which is quite high, how does that help grow the industry and keep the momentum going?
The talent pipeline which is getting created because of the AI adoption, because of the training programs, because of the skilling and upskilling programs, that is definitely going to create more opportunities for the global media industry to come and create in India. Apart from the natural growth which is happening, from the government side, we are promoting this through, very soon we'll be launching a Create in India mission, like the semiconductor mission. That Create in India mission will also be very industry oriented, very employment oriented, very future oriented mission, which will basically look at, one, strengthening what we already have, two, making sure that we become the most preferred platform for the world for creating, three, we create that future ready talent pipeline which keeps that growth that we need to have for the next 25 years.
Yeah, I appreciate that response. That's exactly right. As you move through this summit or on the other side, how do you see India's AI leadership intersecting with the creative economy going forward? What role does the government policy play in ensuring that this growth remains sustainable and with support for copyright? What are the next steps coming out of this, do you think?
So it's, in a sense, growing in parallel, simultaneously, and more as a complementary way of growth, where the technology piece and the creative piece are growing together in harmony, in synergy, because today's creative world needs technology, it uses technology, and technology has multiple applications where creators' economy is one of them.
So, Mr. Minister, I just wanted to thank you for your insights and give you a chance to wrap up. It's clear that India has a unique opportunity to lead, not just in building AI technologies, but in shaping how AI is applied going forward, and especially with the creative industries that reflect our culture, our values, and our humanity. And so we look forward to working with you and to the Indian government to ensure that as AI evolves, creativity, trust, and opportunity grow alongside of it. That's our hope.
Thank you, Mr. Rivkin. You have absolutely summed it up very right. It's diffusion which is going to really make a very big difference. The use cases, the applications, the way AI will bring the productivity, that is where the real ROI will come from. And that is where the big changes, the big improvements in productivity will come from. We do believe that we are very focused on AI diffusion, we are very focused on AI adoption, we are very focused on making sure that the productivity gains come, both in the creative industry as well as the other industries. Thank you so much for all the cooperation that is coming from you. And we look forward to many more areas of cooperation where we can create those win-win equations where it's beneficial for both. Thank you so much.